All right, let's switch gears here. Despite presenting no evidence of widespread voting fraud, President Trump continues to insist he did not lose the election to Joe Biden. He has not conceded. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he supports the president in his legal challenges to the election.
Joining us now is Illinois Republican National Committee woman Demetra DeMonte. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm delighted to be with you.
Well, Demetra, what makes you certain, after there have been calculations showing that Biden has won the electoral votes for election to the presidency, that he still hasn't won?
Well, because he has not been defeated. The election is not over. Hundreds of thousands of ballots have not been counted. We have several states where they are still counting ballots. Military ballots have not been counted. Provisional ballots have not been counted. Look, Donald Trump and 71 million Americans have a constitutional right to a fair election. We've got to see this process through. We've got to ensure that the election is protected and that the integrity of the election is preserved. We've got to make sure that every legal ballot is properly cast and protected and counted. Now, I personally do not understand what is the rush here. We must be patient. Those of us who lived back in 2000 know what happened in 2000. There was an election between Gore and Bush. Gore did not concede for 37 days. And to the best of my recollection, I may be wrong, but to the best of my election, Bush did not say that he had won. So we are here only 6 days. I say let us complete the process. Let the president go about his business of making sure that every legal ballot is counted. There probably will be legal challenges in 5 states. It may go to the Supreme Court, but I say let us be patient. Let us wait. With all due respect, the media they're not the ones who are going to decide who is our president. At the very latest, here again, to the best of my knowledge, it'll be December the 13th. When the electors of the states will be going to the Electoral College and bring their certified votes. That is when we will know for certain who the president is. And I will tell you, no matter who was elected, I am an American first. I'm a political person second, and I will abide by whoever wins. And I urge everyone out there to do the same.
Well, Gore did briefly concede. I know he switched it back an hour or so later, but let's talk about counting ballots is one thing, but actually calling the election a fraud is something else entirely. We're still waiting to hear what evidence the president can bring to prove that case. What do you say about that?
I have heard, I have been told there is much evidence. Obviously, you're absolutely right. There must be evidence. I do believe they will be presenting evidence. I know, for example, in the state of Michigan, there were lots of irregularities, Their ballots. In fact, I'm trying to recall exactly what happened in their software. There were glitches in their software, which resulted in thousands of Republican votes being switched to Democrat. Now, is this true? I don't know. I have been told, I've been assured by the chairman of the Michigan State Party. She is an honorable woman, so I am taking her at her word. I've also been told that in Georgia, there are allegations of thousands of instances of ballot harvesting. Now, to those of you who may not know what that is someone giving someone else their ballot, maybe for a sandwich, maybe for money. That's illegal.
Well, Demetra,
yes.
We only have a few seconds, but I also want a letter that you wrote. You said the fake media has just coronated the president, and I take exception to that because the media is reporting the facts. We don't coronate the president. We have been reporting the numbers that have come out, and you also said that Pennsylvania, there was corruption there. The 20 votes put him to over 270, Joe Biden over 270, making him the president-elect.
If I may respond, the media was premature. In Arizona, even as we speak, to the best of my knowledge, the president is only down 17,000 votes, and there are 77,000 votes out there. So no matter what the media said, Donald Trump has not lost Arizona. And then in Pennsylvania, there are multiple allegations. And you are right. Evidence will have to come forward. But I have spoken to people of character, people that I know personally, who are vouching for this evidence. So what I say to people out there, let us be patient. Let the process continue. We gave it 37 days. There was only Florida that we contended with. We
Well,
have
we're
5
hoping that
states.
process will be short, considering we're in a pandemic. We've got a transition that needs to happen, and we appreciate your time, and we'll connect with you again down the road, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thank you again for the
Thank you.
invitation.
Be safe, be well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.